All right, so the big media story over the last 48 hours was Wednesday night's CNN town hall of the failed former President Donald Trump. On yesterday's show, we did an extensive review of what was said, the audience's role and reactions, laughing and cheering at the most depraved, anti-democratic and dishonest moments. Anchor Caitlin Collins's respectable attempt to do some fact checking up against the unfortunate reality that Trump mostly steamrolled right over her, had the crowd on his side for the lies, and that the environment in sum total didn't really conform to one where serious fact checking and pinning Trump down could happen, in part because of the crowd and because of the format and so many other things. So we then heard again on yesterday's show from people in the media, Joe Scarborough and others, members of the House and Senate. We heard from all sorts of different people about the town hall, and we heard from voters as well. And in a focus group that CNN did of Trump supporters, they were not more impressed or less impressed by Trump based on the town hall. It did nothing one way or the other to influence their opinion of Trump. And then the question becomes, well, what about independent voters? What about Democrats? What about non-Trump Republicans? And it's hard to imagine that they were overly thrilled by what took place. So now there's a media question. What happens with CNN after this insane town hall? We know that based on the relatively new leadership of CNN by Chris Licht, that there is a change of direction happening. That's already happened. The network has hired a number of former Republican officials and so on to be on the network. But Chris Licht did tell Kara Swisher during an interview back in November that CNN is not going to become the Trump News Network. This was the current head of CNN, Chris Licht, speaking with Kara Swisher.
You ended up talking about him for 8 hours a day, and we're not going to do that. We're going to be very clear and take everything on a case-by-case basis about what level of coverage it should be.
So meaning that it will not be quite hand-wavy.
We are not going to be a 24/7 Trump news network.
Okay. Is that what they are sticking to, or is it not? And to be clear, Trump is a former president in the completely unprecedented situation where he is under criminal indictment, was recently found liable civilly for sexual assault and defamation, tried to hang on to power despite having lost, on and on and on, all these different things. So it makes sense that corporate media talks about the guy. It makes sense. But the question is, what is the sort of tone and tenor of that coverage? Is it sycophantic? Is it what exactly is it going to be? Now, just as interestingly, in the 48 hours since the Trump town hall, during which Chris Licht defended what CNN did, there has been some, I guess we could call it, light rebellion coming from within CNN. There's an interesting article on Semaphore. America was served very well by what we did last night. CNN chairman defends town hall, but there are others who are quoted here. The view from CNN staff is that it may not be particularly the best thing. And they point out that they don't love the fact that the audience was filled with Trump supporters. CNN senior media reporter Oliver Darcy wrote, "It's hard to see how America was served by the spectacle of lies that aired on CNN Wednesday evening." And Licht said, "I absolutely unequivocally believe America was served well." So there's a couple different questions here. Question one is what actually happens on CNN as far as Trump coverage goes. Does it become friendlier than maybe what we saw in 2016, in 2020? I don't know. That's certainly one question. The other aspect to this is what about disaffected Fox News viewers? Because that's part of the timing of this entire thing. Trump has increasingly turned against Fox News over the last year. Now, with the firing of Tucker Carlson, there is a significant contingent of MAGA people who they may be watching Fox News now reluctantly, or they may have abandoned Fox News and they want a new home. Does Chris Licht want to appeal to those people? And does he want to try to make the new home for those folks CNN? And can he do that in any way that is even remotely responsible as far as journalism is concerned? Or can you really only appeal to those people by becoming overtly sycophantic and brown-nosing about Donald Trump? A lot of questions in this segment, not a ton of answers. We simply have to wait and see, but it's not looking particularly inspiring. I think that's where we can leave it for today. Sometimes it can be tough to maintain an emotional connection with your significant other. You might work in different places at different times. There might be a kid in the way. It can be hard to find time for date nights, especially because kids demand so much attention, which is why I love our sponsor Paired, which is the app for couples. The app will prompt you with a daily question or a game or a guided conversation, all designed by leading psychologists. And the point is to just have a deeper connection with your partner, boost intimacy, build a deeper knowledge of one another. My girlfriend and I will use the prompts on Paired throughout the day to stay connected. For instance, we answered a prompt about what we remember most from the early days of the relationship. It really helps us learn new things, and there can be funny moments as well. An independent study found that couples using Paired saw a 36% increase in the quality of their relationship, and giving a Paired subscription as a gift is also a really great idea. You can try it free for 7 days and get 25% off a subscription. Go to paired.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.